We speak about the Republican or the MAGA party now, based on its leaders, have become a party of hate. And I don't say that lightly. And when I talk about these people are looking to find everything in just about every identity to put down, every identity that doesn't fit that profile. You know what I'm talking about. And it is hard to see, it's hard many times to just tell people that story because most people simply don't believe you because, one, they shutter their eyes to it. And number two, they don't quite want to believe that they are supporting a party that is a group of folks that are led by a degenerate set of homophobic, sexist, misogynist racists, right? They don't want to believe it. They're not necessarily that, though some are, but most are not that. I know many MAGA folks that even as they are partially racist and partially sexist and partially all these things, deep inside, they don't believe they are, and they do want to do better. But there's always that trigger because that disease is already infecting them. Like I used to be infected with certain diseases as well. When you're infected and you're not yet first of all cured and then inoculated against it, what tends to happen is triggers. I don't know if you guys remember, I've said many a times that I knew I was cured of my homophobia when I saw two guys kissing and it was like, there were no triggers that actually got me back into my homophobic state. Well, a lot of people don't want to be sexist, don't want to be racist, don't want to be xenophobic, don't want to be all these things. And they don't, and they're trying, they're working at it. But then the trigger comes. Our country was getting better, trying to get better. But then Donald Trump came and he reinstituted all the triggers again before we could be excised from the disease, before we could be inoculated from the disease. And henceforth, we've now have to deal with a party, a cult taken over by Trump and MAGA. So if you want to see a montage of Trump's closing statement at Madison Square Garden in New York, you get to see exactly who the leaders of these people are and why these people are the way they are. I want you to listen to this. Watch this. This is who these leaders are. And the ones that we don't have here, the evangelical preachers, in as much as they are less graphic, they're actually worse. But take a look at this and then we'll take it on the other side.
Want to know what a second Trump term will look like and sound like? MAGA World gave the country an honest preview of it during an all-day event at Madison Square Garden this weekend. And it is worth listening to because this is what the GOP is standing behind.
It's wild. And these Latinos, they love making babies too. Just know that. They do. They do. There's no pulling out. They don't do that. They inside, just like they did to our country. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right. Okay. We're getting there. Cool. Black guy with a thing on his head. What the hell is that? A lampshade? Look at this guy. Oh my goodness. Wow. I'm just kidding. That's one of my buddies. He had a Halloween party last night. We had fun. We carved watermelons together. It was awesome.
She is some sick that Hillary Clinton, huh? What a sick son of a. The whole party, a bunch of degenerates, lowlives, Jew haters and lowlives. Every one of them. You got homeless and veterans, Americans sleeping in their own feces on a bench in Central Park. But the illegals, they get whatever they want, don't they? 5-star hotels, cash, probably get Yankee Dodger tickets tomorrow night.
She is the devil, whoever screamed that out. She is the Antichrist.
She's a fake, a fraud. She's a pretender. Her and her pimp handlers will destroy our country.
Hamas is not there for us. Iran is not there for us. They want to kill us. And the Palestinians are taught to kill us at 2 years old. They won't let a Palestinian in Jordan. They won't let a Palestinian in Egypt. And Harris wants to bring them to you.
Who's going to stand up and say the cartels are gone, the criminal migrants are gone, the gangs are gone, America is for Americans and Americans only?
It's going to be pretty hard to look at us and say, you know what? Kamala Harris, she got 85 million votes because she's just so impressive. As the first Samoan, Malaysian, low IQ, former California prosecutor ever to be elected president, it was just a groundswell of popular support.
Spare prayer for Governor Tim Walz, because he's got the hardest job in American politics. He's got to convince the American. What's up, man? You all can say that. I probably shouldn't say that.
It's just this amorphous group of people, but they're smart and they're vicious. And we have to defeat them. And when I say the enemy from within, the other side goes crazy, becomes a sound. Oh, how can he say? No, they've done very bad things to this country. They are indeed the enemy from within.
The roughly 6-hour gathering amplified what has always been Donald Trump's central message, that to him and MAGA world more broadly, there is an us and there is a them.
And that is what I'm talking about, people. I will wager anybody to go to the speeches of every single surrogate for Kamala Harris. Go to every Kamala Harris's stump speech. Go to any one of these and get me any kind of segment that sounds like the least worst of what you've just heard. My brothers and my sisters, if you want to know what polarization looks like, that is not only what it looks like, that is what causes it. That was a barrage of evil. Think about how they addressed women. Think about how they address Latinos. Think about how they address Jews. Think about how they address blacks. Think about how they address anybody that is their competition, as opposed to saying a rival. They treated them and they talked to them like the enemy. And this is something that we must have all those people that are yet to vote see. Do you want a country where you get that? And that is what you wake up to every day? A country where if you decide that you are not a MAGA person, that you deserve the wrath of the tongue and more? Or do you want to get up knowing that it doesn't matter if you are MAGA, conservative, liberal, progressive, no matter what, that you are allowed to exist?
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number 1, subscribe to our channel. And number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.